were sitting in bed scrolling on TikTok, and we're scrolling. Megan Thee Stallion pops up with some guy, and Eva's like, "Isn't that Olivia's ex?" Honestly, anything goes for some.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Shhhcrets, the place where we sip on drama, dissect dilemmas, and unravel the stories behind the stories. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe if you like my vibe. Today's episode is all about Megan Thee Stallion, her new man, and the messiness that's already brewing. Megan Thee Stallion is dating an NBA player named Tory Craig. I'll admit, I chuckled a bit when I heard she was dating another Tory. Like, girl, really? Haven't we had enough of the Tory drama? But, hey, that's beside the point. What's more important is that they seem to be going strong. Megan has been spotted at his games, and there's even a video she posted of them together from last year. They've clearly been seeing each other for a while. But, you know what they say? When things seem too good to be true, they usually are. And sure enough, the drama started rolling in. One woman named Jasmine Elizabeth came forward, claiming that Tory Craig was cheating on Megan with her, and sis brought receipts. According to Jasmine, she and Tory had been talking since 2023, with their latest interaction happening in late December. She even asked him if he had a girlfriend, and he straight up said me, myself, and I. Can you imagine? The audacity.
Man will leave you in the desert without water.
Here's where things get messier. There's this podcast making the rounds. Some of you may have seen it. It's three women sitting in what looks like a kitchen, casually chatting, and I swear, it feels like everybody has a podcast these days. But what caught my attention is that this particular podcast episode was their first one in 3 years. 3 years of silence, and this is what they decide to come back with. Not a "we're back" update or anything positive. Nope, they dive straight into mess, and let's be real, nothing gets clicks faster than a Ragebait episode. It's obvious they knew what they were doing, and the entire thing reeks of calculated drama. They kick off the conversation by talking about Megan and her new man, Tory Craig. And one of the women, who apparently used to date him, acts like she's totally unbothered. She's sitting there all casual like, "Oh, yeah, I dated him once. His name's Torrey, right?" And they make sure to clarify that it's not Tory Lanez because, of course, people's minds would go there first. It all seemed a bit too scripted, if you ask me.
Well, where do I start? Do I start the one where my ex is dating the Megan? Was it the Megan Stallion? What's her name?
Meg the Stallion.
Meg the Stallion. Meg. Megan. I'm just gonna call her Megan.
Who's
Megan?
Who is Meg?
I don't know. I just get my vowels like always mixed up.
It's okay.
So
She's from Russia.
She's a foreigner.
So I saw this.
Yes.
Me and Eva, we were sitting in bed scrolling on TikTok, and we're scrolling. Megan Thee Stallion pops up with some guy, and Eva's like, "Isn't that Olivia's ex?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, his name's Torrey, right?
Yep.
Not Tory Lanez, a different Tory."
Yeah, not that one.
Just imagine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can't even get mad though, because it's like, damn, like that's kind of a flex, you know? Like
Yeah.
I can't even be mad at that at all because like
I just wonder what his type is, because you guys dated, then he was talking to other girls when he was talking to you, and like they all look
very
like
similar. Like
you
we
guys.
all looked, yeah.
So I'm just curious what his type is.
What I've learned in my 29 years, men don't have a type. They like whatever they like. It could be a wide range. Like, I truthfully don't know a man that is specifically like on point with one exact type, to be fair.
Honestly, anything goes for some.
Yeah.
At first, I thought, okay, maybe this is just lighthearted gossip. But the more they talked, the more it started to feel off. They went from reminiscing about Tory to questioning his type, suggesting that he tends to date women who look like Olivia, one of the women on the podcast. And right there is where it starts to sound shady, because the implication was clear. They couldn't fathom that Torrey would be genuinely interested in someone like Megan. And let's be honest, when they say someone like Megan, they mean a black woman. The microaggressions throughout that conversation were hard to miss. At one point, they pretend not to know how to pronounce Megan's name. Really? Megan is one of the most basic white-sounding names out there. You're telling me you don't know how to say Megan, but you can say Tory Lanez without skipping a beat? It was shady as hell. And let's not forget that Tory Lanez is the man who's now sitting behind bars for shooting Megan. The way they casually dropped his name and laughed about it. Gross. There's no other way to put it.
Now, let's talk about Lana Rhoades, because this woman really needs to sit this one out. She was part of the conversation, chiming in with her 2 cents about men not having a specific type. They just like what they like, she said. Okay, sure. But then she followed it up by saying, anything goes for some. And that's when the mask slipped. That statement is where I take issue. Who is anything supposed to be? I'm not even a huge Megan fan, but I am a black woman. And today, that makes me one. Megan is a beautiful, talented black woman who has worked tirelessly to perfect her craft and carve out her space in the industry. She's a Grammy-winning, multi-awarded artist, not some random anything. Honey, she's everything you're not. Because, let's be real, Lana Rhoades has made a career out of fetishizing black men. This woman has probably been with more black men, and men in general, than Rhode Island. Sorry, I couldn't resist that joke. Every time I hear her name, I think of that place. But seriously, for someone who built her brand off being with black men, she has no business questioning a black woman's desirability. It's giving bitter, it's giving jealous ex, and honestly, it's giving pathetic.
What really bothers me is the entitlement these women seem to have. They couldn't believe that Tory Craig would genuinely be attracted to Megan. They were sitting there dissecting his type as if it was their place to decide who he should or shouldn't date. And that entitlement comes from a place of privilege. Many black athletes do have a history of dating women who look like Olivia and her friends. White, slim, conventionally attractive. And because of that, these women walk around with this inflated sense of importance, thinking they're better than black women because they get attention from black men.
Like, if you looked at all of these women that my friend was showing me that he was talking to at the time, you would think that they all were the same person. That's how similar they looked. It wasn't a difference in skin color. It was literally carbon copies of each other. And so for me, if I'm seeing that he's choosing to spend time with and hook up with a very specific type of girl, and it appears that that's his type, and then all of a sudden he has someone that benefits him more, and his type switches drastically, to me that's a red flag. And so I was just putting that out there so that she knew it.
This explanation didn't really make it any better, because Lana is basically admitting that there's no way Tory could be attracted to somebody like Megan. He's only with her for her money and fame.
But what they don't realize is that a lot of these athletes aren't loyal to anyone. They're for the streets. They're not settling down with anyone. They're just out here spreading themselves thin. So when those same athletes turn around and date a black woman, it shakes these women to their core. It makes them feel less special, and instead of addressing why that bothers them, they lash out with microaggressions and shade. The thing is, Tory Craig has dated black women before. His baby mama, Jerrica, is black. There's even a rumor that Megan threw shots at Jerrica in one of her songs, saying, "I don't care about no DM or no bitch that came to see him, and I know he loves his child, but fuck his BM. I'm the best bitch he ever had." So, let's stop pretending that Megan is the first black woman he's ever been with. The narrative that Torrey can't possibly be attracted to a black woman is ridiculous. But let me be clear. I'm not saying Tory Craig is some kind of saint. Far from it. He seems like the type to play the field. And honestly, with all these women coming forward claiming they've been talking to him, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more mess to come. So, while I hope Megan is happy, I also hope she's aware of the drama that's already bubbling up. Because let's face it, Torrey doesn't exactly scream loyal partner. The whole situation just feels messy and unnecessary. These women knew exactly what they were doing with that podcast episode. It was a calculated move to get clicks and stir up drama. But instead of making Megan look bad, they ended up exposing their own insecurities. They showed us how fragile their egos are and how uncomfortable they are with seeing black women winning.
And as for Lana Rhoades, girl, focus on raising your kid, because trying to shame someone else's relationship when you've been with everybody is not the flex you think it is. At the end of the day, this whole conversation is about entitlement. It's about certain women feeling entitled to black men's attention and not knowing how to handle it when those same men choose black women instead. The microaggressions, the shade, the bitterness, it's all there. And it's not a good look.
All right, guys, that's my take on this mess. What do you think? Is Megan making a mistake by dating Tory Craig? Or do you think she's just living her best life and having fun? Let me know in the comments. And remember, if you like my vibe, hit that subscribe button and stick around for more juicy episodes. Until next time, keep your head high, your heart guarded, and your tea hot. Bye.